This is FSD Beta 11.4.7.3. I'm still running the old navigation data, NA 2023.20-14566. So, main reason for doing this video, despite the fact that 11.4.8.1 just started rolling out, is this is the driving around Plant City video, and one of the main reasons I've been doing these videos was to track a couple of different things. One, there's the dedicated U-turn lane, and then there was the road geometry change down by the airport. So every morning since about August, I've been going into the car and looking at the map and plotting a route to go through the road geometry change. And it looks like as of the morning of November 29th, 28th, the map is updated. So we're going to go and see if that road geometry change area works properly. So there is a bit of fog out this morning. I don't expect it to cause any issues, but the wipers don't seem to like the fog, so I guess we're just going to have some overzealous wipers this morning. I'll bookmark it below, but the overall intent of this drive is we'll go down to the dedicated U-turn lane to see if it fails. It probably will. We'll go down to the road geometry change, see if it fails. And then we'll do the one-way wishbone, and then the narrow roads stuff towards the end. And then at the absolute end, we'll do the two left turn lane thing, which was fixed for a little while, but has broken again after this map update. So I'm gonna run my speed limit up to 45 because back there is another construction area where they're planning on putting in traffic lights. But they put down a 35 mile an hour sign, and then the next 45 mile an hour sign you don't pass until way down the road. So I don't know, I don't recall seeing an end construction zone sign, but there does seem to be a need for a mechanism for the car to know when the construction ends. Bit of braking for when that guy was pulling out, which understandable. There's my 40 mile an hour sign. Now, I'll talk about it closer to the road geometry change. So this turn up here at the next traffic light was one that caused issues. Now it works quite beautifully. So it used to be that it would always try to go into the right lane, or it would skitter a bit when trying to cross, but absolutely beautiful now. This one still causes issues. This lane that I'm in is dedicated to continue going down Thonotosassa Road. Even though the light's green, the car's probably going to stop. It's going to validate that the traffic is clear, and then it's going to go. And it really doesn't need to do that because it's a dedicated lane, and we had the right of way on a green light. I will admit that is the fastest it has done that, but still, that should not be happening. It's going to brake for that white SUV, but no, I guess they pulled all the way through. Never mind. Sometimes there's a car that'll pull out into the middle and it'll just start braking hard for them. So, as we can see, the car has a U-turn plotted. And I don't expect this maneuver to work. Main reason I'm doing it is just for like data collection purposes. But it's a dedicated U-turn lane. We're going to pull into it. So if you look at the light, and hopefully it comes across in the video, it is a red arrow that is literally a red U-turn light. And I don't think the car recognizes it very well. It recognizes that it's red, but I don't think it recognizes that it's for U-turns only. It does say, unable to complete maneuver, please assist now. So I'm going to leave autopilot engaged, and when the light turns green, I'll just hit the accelerator and see if I can force it through. There's the green. We're not moving, so I'm going to try and force it. So I'm holding down the accelerator. Nope, it wants to get on the interstate using the on-ramp. So that didn't work. But again, that was expected because it's not supported yet. When we do something like V12 or something, that'll be when I figure it's supported at the earliest. But again, I'm just doing that for data collection purposes. So now, nobody's behind me. We're going to end the trip and... There it is. I'm going to go here. Yes, alright. So now we're going to manually drive, because if I don't, it does it wrong. So if I turn on autopilot too early, it tries to turn down there that I just passed to get at the main road, which it can't, because there's this concrete doodad in the way. So it ends up having to make another U-turn and all that stuff. And we're gonna go, and then I'll turn it back on. So now we're gonna go to the road geometry change. So here we have to frogger our way across the road. There's two vehicles coming from the right, nothing on the left, so one. Second one is turning. No. Okay. And now we go. So, what I didn't like is that the car was pumping its brakes as if the car in front of me was going to continue passing, so it closed the distance a little bit. And I feel like it forced the other car to make a wider turn than necessary on a closer approach. I'm not looking for it. What the hell are their tents there for? Weird. There's a Tesla. Hey, Tesla. Why are we stopping here? Okay, so we're stopping for a stop sign, but we're stopping way far back from it. Unless there was a different stop sign that I didn't see. That was an unnecessary stop sign stop. So there's a great big barn, like right here. A barn looking like building. But pulling out this far forward, I can see there's that car has to go. Now I can go. Also, because I live in an area with a lot of train tracks, I observe some of the train track behavior. There does seem to be some logic in the system that says if there's a chance of stopping on the tracks, don't. I've had a lot of instances, back there it kind of was going to do it, but I've had a lot of instances while driving where when I'm stopping at the train tracks, it doesn't want to stop me right on them. Seems to make a best effort, we'll put it like that. So now we'll make a right turn at Airport Road. Trip. And we're going to plot it to here. Yep. And then make that go away, make that go away. Alright. So this is the road geometry change. If you look at all the other previous drive around Plant City videos, you'll see that normally it cuts across over here instead of doing this. This is correct. So what I'm expecting to see today, as opposed to every other time that I've done this, is it won't stutter at this turn. It'll just keep going straight, and then it'll make the right turn, which it's been doing that properly because the intersections are mapped for it. But when we're coming back from the other side, I'm expecting it to actually make the left properly. So we'll see what happens. So this is the road geometry change proper. And normally it would stutter about here, thinking about trying to keep going straight, but it can't. And then this is where we do the right turn, which again, if we look at the map, we're on track. Trip, and we're going to go back from whence we came. Last time I did this, there was traffic coming from the other side and it got its timing all wrong, but today should be fine. So we do a stop. There's nothing coming from the left. And away we go. So, moment of truth. So again, the map has the left turn in the correct place now. The visualization's not drawing where it thinks it needs to turn anymore. Nope, there it is. It was still drawing it. But the left turn is plotted properly. And what do we get? We get a stop in the middle of the road, followed by a turn. That could have been more graceful. The turn also sharper than it should have been, in my opinion. But it did do it correctly, so road geometry change issue fixed. Now I'll go into that one a little bit more here, but I gotta plot another destination. Nope, this is correct. To City Hall. Alright, so in regards to the road geometry change, I never sent Tesla an email about that. And I want to make a point of saying that at the beginning of the video, the map data was 2023-20-14566. I have not yet gotten the new map update data that was released within the last week or so. So this road geometry change was fixed by me going through and updating TomTom's MapShare website. I have made a bunch of changes and edits since about August 25th, 28th, something like that. And on average, it takes TomTom about 2.5 weeks to approve it, and then about another week for the data to show up in Azure Maps, and you can see that by it being reflected on Bing. It looks like all of the changes I made on TomTom's MapShare website got included as long as it was done, listed as fixed on TomTom's website by September 15th. So with that in mind, if Tesla continues to use what looks like TomTom's data, I would expect the next cutoff to be December 15th. If you can get your items marked as fixed by December 15th, it might be included in a map update that we might see in February, but that's a lot of supposition. The only two map updates that are fairly consistent are we get one in May and we get one about in November. The fact that we've gotten 3 this year is kind of an anomaly to me. But we'll see. Again, this was a backend update that fixed this. I did not get a new map update. I did not get a new version of FSD beta. Pure backend updating. So, but I'm gonna say if you go to the TomTom website and start making changes, you'll probably see some of the stuff be better. But it'll take time for them to update the servers in the back end. Because there's other map fixes that I requested through TomTom, and I tried to be methodical about the process of doing it. In that I would make some of the changes on TomTom and OpenStreetMaps. I would make some of the changes on just TomTom, some of the changes on TomTom and Google Maps and all that stuff. And it's like Google Maps reflects what you see on here, right? But that's 100% not what's routing the car. And there's another overlay that does the routing on top of Google Maps. And I'm fairly positive at this point that it's Azure Maps from Microsoft, but that it's fed with guy ahead of me has the right away. But it's fed Azure Maps is fed by TomTom. And then what Azure Maps does not know, or sorry, what TomTom doesn't know about, and Azure Map needs to know about, it pulls it from OpenStreetMaps. So I'm fairly positive that's one of the main reasons why it's been feeling like the data comes from OpenStreetMaps, and it looks like it. And that's because Azure Maps blends TomTom and OpenStreetMaps. So that's my thought on that. So I would go ahead and just go to the MapShare website. I'll put a link to it in the description. It's free to register, and then you just go in and make your changes. And the speed limit data you can fix there as well. I've not had any proof that it actually fixes anything. When I put in my speed limit data, it was after September 15th. So none of that stuff made the cutoff. But where my speed limits change without a sign lines up with the segmentation of the data in TomTom. And there'll be another example of where I can do that later on. But yeah, that's all I got to say about that for now. There was an Amazon driver talking to the police officer. I'm willing to bet some packages are delayed. So I should have talked about this a little bit. So this is a wishbone. We're going to go down this road. No, we're not even close to the pedestrians, man. They're on the sidewalk. So this is a wishbone. We're going to merge from this bi-directional road onto a one-way road. We're going to rotate the camera so that we can see oncoming traffic, of which there is none. Nope, there is one car, which we see. It's blue. We're waiting on it. So the goal is we need to stay in the right lane. which it did find last time, and it did find again. Yay! No, I don't know why I did that. Alright, so now I'm gonna turn off autopilot, and I want to be in this area here because this is where all the narrow roads and stuff are, and we're gonna do here. And I'm gonna intentionally choose this route because the last time I did this video, I think it was here, it tried to run a stop sign that was obstructed by a tree, and I've since had that fixed as well. So from here, we're going to turn autopilot back on, and the first thing we're going to look at is see what it does with this stop sign here, which it sees now. And it did try to run, but there wasn't really any oncoming traffic it couldn't clear. Why on earth are there two people stopped in the middle of the road to talk to each other here? So the last time I came through here, the car tried to run the stop sign because the stop sign was occluded by a tree. And then Dan O'Dowd took the video, posted it to the internet, and was like, oh look, it tried to run a stop sign. But right after it did that, the next comment I made on the video was that I was going to email the city and have the city take a look at it, which I did do. And the city was out here within a week. They trimmed the tree. Now the car stops for a stop sign. I don't know why we're doing this wiggly waggly thing though. We're going to go straight. Not sure why the car was creeping forward for visibility facing the wrong direction. You know, I'm willing to bet it's probably an anomaly related to the fact that it was trying to go to a narrow road. So the narrow roads is still the same problem. We've got like a foot of space on the right side, and we're running over the reflectors in the middle of the road. Oh, we're a little bit better here. And now we're not. So there does appear to be a pedestrian with a dog ahead. And we're getting out of the way of. Was having issues yielding. Oh, why didn't it let? Oh, because I'm close to the destination. That's why. So that's another thing that drives me nuts. Is if you're close enough to the destination, you can't leave an autopilot note for why you disengaged. And for me, a lot of my issues with autopilot these days tend to be close to my destination. Probably because I can't make any notes about how close I am to a problem. So I'm just going to stop here for a second. And we're going to pick a different spot. I did not like how close to that pedestrian it was getting. And for some reason on narrow roads it has issues mathing out how far to get from the pedestrian, because that's the second time I've been in this area, and it made me uncomfortable with how close it was going to pass to a pedestrian. Not to say that the vehicle was not going to do it. In looking at it, it looked like it was going to do it. It made me uncomfortable. And if it made me uncomfortable, odds are it probably made them uncomfortable. So this road's a little bit more wide. Okay, I guess we're going here. And this area, I'm basically going to do a lot of stopping autopilot, stopping FSD, and then plotting a new route. There is cat in the road. This is my destination, so we're going to stop and trip, pick something over here, and we'll do that one. That one. We'll do that one because it's got that weird turn. So, I've never really done a turn like this before, so we'll see how it does. I'm expecting it to not do well because it's damn near a U-turn. Nope, it failed. I thought it was going to put me in the ditch for a second, but it's deciding to go in a different direction now. I mean, that is an awkward turn to start with. This is a four-way stop, and I stopped first. So I'm not going to keep putzing around in this area and just hit some of the usual roads. But you see, we're leaving all this room on the right. I'm hoping this is one of those things V12 will fix, but I'm not sure. A lot of it feels like it wants to keep a foot of space on the right, and if I had to guess, it's probably something related to the position of the repeater and the pillar cameras and how they see the median. Oh, this will be interesting. I can't see out the left. We're fine. Big wide turn. So there's another pedestrian. We'll see what that does. This time it's correctly mapping around them. And this one's no problem. So I wonder why it had an issue with the last one. And I think this is where I plotted, right? It is. So we'll disengage. And we're going to say end trip. I think that's enough of the narrow road stuff. So now we're going to go to the Walgreens. We'll go to this side of it. And is that going to do the turn I wanted to do? It is. All right. Oh, no. There we go. Alright, so next destination is my double left turn, and also a brief commentary on speed limits and TomTom, which I pointed out in the last video, so if you watched it, yeah. But the double left turn thing is tricky, in my opinion. But I'll explain that a little bit more when I get closer. I'm going to let you do it, but I don't want to go that way. So by turning right here, there's nothing wrong with it. But it's going to turn right here, and then it's going to turn... Anyways, I don't like this one, because one, we're going to fly over the train tracks, and then we're going to cross into... shit. Uncomfortable. Then we're going to start going over these cobblestone roads. And it's just, I don't like driving here because in general the road sucks. Plus, there's no lane marker and we're taking up like the whole road. I don't like that spot. You should wait. Thank you. 1 car, 2 car, and right of way, go. Doing a left turn from Wheeler to Collins, or a right turn to Collins from here. That didn't make any sense. Oh, are you gonna do the... You are. Well, this should be fun. Maybe. So this is something I've been debating putting on the video. This spot here is going to be weird. there's two left, the road ends, and then you have to immediately make be in one of two left turn lanes. And for this one, we're going to need to be in the left. No, it's a single lane road, and then we go into 2 lanes, and we need to be on the left. So let's see what the car does. And it sticks to the left. The issue that I've had here, and I might do it in the next video, I don't know, is if you force the car to turn right, it wants to stay in the left lane and then immediately get into the right lane, and it just makes this whole awkward turn. That's probably been ironed out by now though, but I can try and do it for the next one, now that the road geometry thing is fixed. So there's nothing coming from the right, so if it wants to make a right on red, I got no issues. Nothing coming from the left, I should say. Tons of stuff coming from the right. Now, this here, turning by Church's Chicken, is a turn that's kind of tricky. And I might try and do a video on it in a moment. But what we're coming up to here is the double left turn, but I'll talk about the speed limit first. So, by this road here, which I forget what the name of it is, what I was finding is, on the approach of the double left turn, if I lower the speed limit, it does it better. And then I dug into it more and I realized there was a speed limit sign missing. When you looked at Google Maps, you could see that the speed limit sign was there and then it wasn't. But the city recently changed the speed limit on this road from 45 to 40. There's the 40-mile-an-hour sign. The car's going to go up to 40. As we cross this road, it's going to go to 45. Boop. There it is. And that's related to the TomTom map data. The TomTom, the way they have the road segmented, that's where the 45-mile-an-hour zone starts. Now here, it used to do this really well until the map update, and now it doesn't. Now it gets in really late again, and it does really hard braking. Yesterday, I think it was, it tried to abort getting into this lane altogether. Ooh, I didn't like that. I didn't like that. Whoa, there we go. That's the other problem, is it tries to go to the racetrack. Yeah, I know. So a bunch of different things that happen at the same time there, and I will talk about them slowly. One, it made the left turn, in my opinion, without clear visibility of oncoming traffic, which technically, okay, there was nothing coming, but as an occupant in the vehicle, it made me uncomfortable. Two, the left turn was late, but that's pretty typical. Three, it tried to go into the racetrack turn lane. That has been less of an issue on the last version, but on this version, that seems to be back again, and it becomes remarkably uncomfortable. Most of the time, I end up catching it. This time, obviously, I was talking on the camera and distracting myself and whatnot. So now we're going to do an Autopark, if it lets me. Yep, there it is. Start. You're screwing it up, dude. So yeah, so I'm going to go back out there in a second and see if I can get the other left turn lane issue that I have. But at the moment, definitely some improvements with the road geometry thing being fixed, but again, that wasn't really Tesla fixing it, that was them updating the map data on the back end. So that needs to be looked at closer. Some of the pedestrian interactions on the narrow roads needs to be looked at. Short decision to stop signs needs to be looked at as well. I'm not sure why it keeps trying to run the stop sign at the City Hall. It has tons of time to see it, but there's something about that roundabout in the stop sign position that it doesn't want to obey it. And then that intersection back there with the double turn lane and all that stuff, that needs to be fixed as well. No gate videos. Our gate, the community gate, is still busted, and I know that's what some of the people are looking for when I make the videos, but it's still broken. There's nothing there. They're working on the replacing the gate system, but there's no real ETA for it. Yeah, so if and when, so 11.4.8.1 is starting to roll out to people as of this morning. And the newer map data is starting to roll out to people as well. And then when I get that one, I'll get back on the horse for recording videos. Tesla had my car for about 25 days after I got this version. That's one of the main reasons I didn't release anything, which was annoying. I mean, if you drop your car off, you don't expect to lose it for a month, but I did. So I'll try and get back into a consistent rhythm here. But yeah, thanks for watching.